Your level of confidence in yourself pretty much determines the quality of your life. There is a direct link between your level of confidence and your level of success. In this video, I'll be talking about the power of confidence. Coming right up. What is up, everybody? My name is KG and I'm here with another video. If you're new to my channel, please do yourself a favor and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. That way you will get those notifications when I upload new videos. This video is part of a 3-part series all about confidence. Yep, that is how important the subject of confidence is. It is so important that I decided to dedicate 3 full videos to it. Confidence is a very powerful thing. I have seen less articulate speakers deliver better speeches than ordinarily well-spoken people, simply because they appeared more confident and more comfortable in their own skins. To be successful in anything, you need to have a thick skin. If you are not confident, rejection, resistance, and failure will cause you to give up on your goals. There is something sexy about confidence. The more confident you are, the higher your level of magnetism and the more people you can connect with. And the more people you can connect with is the more opportunities you have to share your gift. Communicating your value through your gift is like selling a product. No one buys from a seller that is not confident in themselves and the products they are selling. It is often said that sex sells, but I believe confidence sells more. There are 3 main factors that interfere with our confidence. Number 1, doubt and fear. Doubt and fear hold us back more than anything else, and both are linked to how we see ourselves. Number 2, feelings of guilt and unworthiness. Doctors who were helping people in the Nazi concentration camps in Germany say for as long as people believed in something, they remained alive. When we don't have a sense of purpose and value, we succumb easier to adversity. You need to fight for your life because you are worthy and you carry great value inside of you. Number 3, feelings of inferiority and a sense of undeserving. Various studies of human behavior conclude that all human habits, including psychological habits, are learned. All these things that affect our confidence are conditioned responses. Let us take inferiority complexes, for instance. No one is born believing that they are inferior. That belief is picked up along the way, and if it is not discarded, it becomes part of one's master program. Now, if limiting responses are learned, then it also means that it is possible to unlearn them. Your habitual responses are like wired connections in your brain, and all you need to do to change the way you react in certain situations is to rewire your brain. All you need to do to become more confident is to do some unplugging and challenge the strong beliefs that led to your inaccurate perception of self. One of the greatest breakthroughs of our time is the discovery that our thoughts or consciousness affect the reality we experience. People generally believe that the circumstances of their lives are determined by the external world. There is, however, overwhelming scientific evidence that reveals that it is in fact the inner world of our thoughts that creates the external world we experience. To put it in simple terms, thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. Where you are right now is a result of your thoughts. Think about it. Everything you ever did was a result of a particular thought process. Your actions triggered a particular chain of events, and those actions would not have been carried out if it was not for a particular chain of thoughts or system of belief. Now, various religions disagree about many things, but all popular religions agree on one thing, and that is, whatever you believe with great conviction becomes your reality. The Bible puts it like this: as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So when you believe something about yourself, your mind filters everything through that screen of belief. In other words, your mind conveniently ignores facts in order to feed what you have constructed. The mind is like an organism that aims to maintain its survival by holding on to a particular identity, even though that identity may be doing a disservice to the individual. For example, if you believe that you are a failure, your mind heightens and exaggerates even minor instances of failure to support your deeply held belief that you are a failure. I believe this is so because your subconscious mind was designed to be a servant. That is, it was designed to help you get what you want. But the problem is that it cannot distinguish between beneficial requests and self-sabotaging ones. When you say, "I'm not confident," the mind interprets that as a command or request and goes out of its way to support that belief and to fulfill it. This is why they say, he who says he can and he who says he can't, both are correct. The mind works in such a way that it ignores anything that is not consistent with our belief. For instance, anorexic people are so convinced that they are fat, even though they are not, and they continue to starve themselves, even to an unhealthy extent. This is clear-cut proof that the mind can lose touch with reality when it is fully consumed by a particular belief. This is how cults operate. It explains why people can defend corrupt politicians and prophets, even when overwhelming evidence pointing to the evil deeds of their leaders is in in front of them. When we have built an identity around a thing or person, we tend to want to protect that identity at all costs, even when it no longer makes sense. So the reason why people get offended when their beliefs are being challenged is because their very identity is being threatened, and no one wants that. Now, the deeper issue is that because most people don't know who they truly are, they build their identity around other people or things. For example, because we generally don't know who we are, thus having no sense of significance, we wear other people's names or expensive labels so that we can have something to associate with and to feel significant. Somehow we believe that if people can associate me with a particular brand of alcohol or clothes, then they will consider me as significant. And the media, for the sake of profits, perpetuates this disease even further. This is the same reason why if you don't have money, you are considered to be nothing in society. But the question is, who are you beyond your looks? Who are you beyond the big behind? Who are you beyond your money? Who are you beyond your fancy wardrobe? Who are you beyond your job or profession? What raw value are you bringing to this world? Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the finer things in life and personal accomplishments. I want them too. Problem starts when we define ourselves by them. The reason why a lot of people become depressed and even commit suicide when they go bankrupt or when they lose their jobs or houses is because to them, losing those things is like losing the very basis for their lives. They do not realize that if one can gain those things, then they can also regain or reaccumulate them. I used to worry a lot whenever I lost some of my writings, maybe when I forgot to save the document or something like that. But one day I had an awakening of some sort and I thought to myself, but hold on, KG, you are the one that originated those writings, which means that if you lose them, you can recreate them. Question is, why was I so afraid of losing something that I created? I mean, losing the scripts does not take away the ability that created them. The point I'm trying to make is that we give too much power to things outside of ourselves and we devalue anything that we are. This becomes the breeding ground for manipulation and control. Because of colonization and brainwashing, for example, most African minds believe that only things from the West or things that come from any other group except Africans is good. This is the collective inferiority complex that is evident even today, where Chinese people can come from China to build malls in Africa and employ Africans and pay them peanuts. The fact that the mall is successful is proof that the need was there all along before the Chinese and the Europeans came. So why did we as Africans not take the initiative? The answer is we were programmed not to see ourselves as owners but only as consumers and employees. And we hate ourselves so much that even when one of our own tries to venture into something that has the potential of serving us, we would rather get the same service from someone else who is not like us. I don't have anything against Chinese people or Europeans. Instead, I commend their entrepreneurial spirit, which unfortunately exposes the defective condition of the African mind. Now, to my fellow black sisters, I have nothing against you as well. I love you all very much with the love of God, but I have to say this. We are the only race that spends thousands of rands to obtain the hair of other races. Have you ever seen a Chinese woman spending money on an afro? The hair industry, especially relaxers and fake hair, is $1 billion industry. And guess who contributes the most to that gold mine? Apparently, black people buy the most makeup out of every other group as well. What about skin whitening products? Who buys them the most? You guessed it. According to a recent article, black women spend 9 times more than any other group on hair and beauty products. Question is, who told you you are not beautiful as you are? Now, I'm not saying throw away your Brazilian, my sister. It's yours, and I know it looks good on you. I am merely using these examples to point to a deeper and sad truth. I was looking at a graph the other day which depicted the poverty stats by race in South Africa. As the majority, we are still the poorest, and I thought to myself, what a paradox. What a contrast. What happened to priorities? The race that buys extravagant things like hair, Italian clothes, and expensive alcohol has the least amount of money. The people that idolize 20,000 rand shoes have no trust funds for their children. And the races with the most money are content with their natural hair. And so they spend money on business ventures and long-term investments. Do you know who spends the most money in fancy clubs like Cubana and Taboo? I don't have to spell it out. And do you know who owns Taboo? But that's a topic for another day. Is it a surprise then that out of the 2,208 billionaires in the world today, only 14 of them are black? We spend money on frivolous things, which is a violation of wealth building laws. If we do not change our perspective, we'll remain at the bottom of the economic chain. Now, what does all of this have to do with confidence? I mentioned earlier that confidence directly affects one's level of success. Our collective lack of self-confidence and lack of belief in our abilities as the African race is revealing itself in our standing in the logs of economics. And like I said, I'm not demonizing the good life. I am merely pointing to our lack of priorities as a people. In case you are wondering why I'm not using my mother tongue to communicate my message in this video, if I'm so African. While my content is global and it appeals to an international audience, I have brothers and sisters in other African states who need to hear this message, and unfortunately, they do not understand isiSwati or isiZulu. I know who I am and I'm very articulate in my native language. I love my Africanism and I don't wish to be anything else or anyone else other than me. I fully embrace how God has uniquely fashioned me, and I love my dose of melanin. I was fearfully and wonderfully made. As I am enough. I have everything I need to accomplish what my Creator purposed for me to do. Anyway, I digressed a little bit there. Let me come back. Now, apparently wealthy people don't buy things like exotic cars using profits or personal income. They use exponential returns from long-term investments. And in that sense, they don't break their own bank to taste luxury. Jeff Bezos, for example, became a billionaire a long time ago, not last year. In one interview which took place in the early 2000s, an interviewer makes a joke and says, "Mr. Billionaire, why are you still driving a Honda?" And Jeff said, "Those billions belong to Amazon, not me." It was only later when Amazon gained a significant piece of the money pie that Jeff started rewarding himself. No wonder he's currently the richest man alive. His mindset about money is proving itself considering his current financial profile. Many people start spending out of control as soon as they see a few millions in their accounts. They think they have arrived, and after a while they disappear because of their financially illiterate habits. There are a lot of people on Instagram whose pages are all about flashing luxury. But then I looked at the social media pages of the richest people in the world, and I could not find much flashing there. Could it be that the poor mind flashes in an effort to convince itself and others that it is rich? If you are rich, why seek validation? Why are you so desperate for the social nod? Warren Buffett is super rich, even after giving away much of his money. I don't see him showing off his material belongings. The purpose of wealth is so that you can help improve the lives of others, not so that you can show others how low level they are compared to you. Most of these flashers disguise their displays as inspiration, but I am not fooled. I am not inspired by a promiscuous display of luxury. I am inspired by sincere philanthropy and the selfless service of mankind. I am not rich if my own brother still needs to work at a job they hate for a living. I am not yet rich if within close proximity to where I stay there is a child who does not have school clothes. Somehow, I am convinced that our materialistic mindset is our twisted way of trying to compensate for accepting the lie we were told many years ago that we are inferior, and so we are using things to feel significant. Having a sense of significance is one of the primary needs of the human soul, but it was never meant to be satisfied by things. It was meant to be satisfied by the fulfillment of individual purpose. Someone convinced the African mind that it is lesser than the rest, and we believed it. The programming of an entire race testifies to the programmable nature of the human mind. In the same way that a group of people can be conditioned to have a poor image of self, so can individuals. Your lack of confidence is a result of repetitive messages and experiences that you internalized and formulated a personal image around. The truth of the matter is that if you can take away the jobs of some people and what they own, lack of confidence would become a more widespread disease. This is so because the self-confidence of most people is based on what they are and what they have, not on who they are. My assignment in this series is to suggest a more fundamental type of confidence, one that does not depend on things or social status, but one that is derived from knowing who you are at your core, beyond all worldly labels and tags, a type of confidence that is always there regardless of what is happening around. That is it for part 1. Part 2 will be uploaded in a couple of days. Please subscribe and hit the bell if you have not done so already so that you can be notified as soon as it's up. Thank you for watching and have yourself a blessed day. Remember, God loves you and He will never give up on you, so don't give up on yourself.